What's up, everybody? Man, it's your boy in the building. A early morning edition on. Let's talk about the Carolina Panthers and the potential big splash that they need to be making on this off season. Without further ado, man, we're gonna get into it as we do. TD, talk to the people.
Appreciate it, Mr. Davis. What's up? This is Thomas Davis, man, and you are watching the Black Cat Panther podcast. Make sure y'all tune in all season long.
Yeah, you know I'm a beast. You know I'm a beast. Welcome to the feast. My whole team off the leash. We don't know defeat. Everybody eat. Hey, you know I'm a beast. You know I'm a beast. Welcome to the feast. My whole team off the leash. We don't know defeat. Everybody eat. Hey, you know I'm a beast.
Can I run up the score, run up the board, breaking them all? Ay, ay, walking the door. You know what happened? We step on the floor. Ay, ay, coming from on. You don't want problems, you already know it. Ay, ay, put my mind to it. You already know I'm finna go do it. Ay, yeah, I'm locked in and I feel like Mark 10. Ay, walking to a room, chest up with my chin. Ay, already finished for this joint, even begin. Ay, win is what I am. I cannot ever pretend. Ay, yeah, never pretend. Ay, back in the lab again. Ay, you when not touching the friends. Ay, you when not touching the kin. Ay, putting the points on the board. I'm killing the boys. You know what it is. Ay, switching the moves. No number two. I came in to win. They said I'm tapped in with the action. If they got the master on a master, I can never move passive. I'm active. I can make them go ghost on this cast. But wanna know who running it? Just ask us. On the track, I'm gunning it. I'm blasting this, that gas, and diesel, shack and dog.
You know I'm a beast. You know I'm a beast. Welcome to the feast. My whole team off the leash. We don't know defeat. Everybody eat. Hey, you know I'm a beast. You know I'm a beast. Welcome to the feast. My whole team off the leash. We don't know defeat.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are right. Welcome to the Black Cat Panther podcast, man. Your boy is in the building. I was out and about early this morning. I figure, why not talk to the people? Why not do a special show? We haven't done an early morning show in such a long time. I say, why not? So to be spontaneous and hit you guys, because like I told you before, we're going to be rotating between night and day, bringing early morning, late night shows, evening, afternoon shows. You're going to start seeing it all. And it's going to be all Panthers all the time right here on Black Cat. And like I said, make sure you come on in and subscribe and turn your notifications on. That way you don't miss anything. Number one, we are in a position where the Carolina Panthers are now with their backs against the wall. Back against the wall. And I say that because you are in a position now where you see the division around you is now starting to ascend. You look around, you see Atlanta is starting to ascend. You see Tampa Bay has won the division for 4 times in a row. You see New Orleans is getting a new head coach in here, and they're starting to put pieces together. And let's be honest, as you sit here and you look at the landscape of the NFC South, you look at what it takes to build a team and make it to a Super Bowl, you can say to yourself that is an easier way in the side of the NFC to make it to a Super Bowl than it is AFC. So in doing so, you have to have the requisite pieces to be able to build a team and get this thing going. And what I'm saying and what I'm talking about, as you saw on the thumbnail, the Carolina Panthers need to make a big splash addition at some point in time in this offseason. Whether it's via trade, whether it's via free agency, the Carolina Panthers, think about it. Miles Garrett just became available. Kupp just became available. All our guys, Miles Garrett, you'd have to trade for. Kupp, you'd have to trade for. And then you have somebody, like I said, like a Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack is 33 years old, former defensive player of the year. Like I said, multiple time Pro Bowler, first team All Pro. He a former nucleus piece, because he's no longer a nucleus piece, but he is still productive as it gets around here. The guy last year, 17 and a half sacks the year before. Like I said, double digit sacks every single year in the last couple of seasons. The guy is a Iron Man at the position. What am I proposing today? I'm proposing that at some point in time, the Carolina Panthers is going to need an edge in this 3-4 that you can come out here and depend upon to stop the run and make some splash noises. Now, I'm going to be real with you. The moment I heard Miles Garrett was available, I got my gears grinding. And I said to myself, I wonder what the Carolina Panthers could do to put their hat into the race for Miles Garrett. Because for me, particularly, everyone on this roster, to me, is up for grabs. If anyone wants them. What's up, C? What's up, King JP, man? What's going on with y'all fellas this morning? Raleigh C in the building. What's going on with you? Look, everybody on this roster is up for potential trade talks because one, when you win 2 games one year and then you follow that up with a 5-win season after having multiple 5-win seasons prior, like I said, the talent on this defense has to be strapped down and built back up. And in doing so, we're in the process of it being strapped down to basically nothing, with only having Derek Brown as your D tackle on their front line, and then you only got J.C. Horn, which I'm under the impression, and I'm gonna be real with you guys, I'm not too sure that the Carolina Panthers are going to look to re-sign J.C. Horn when it comes times, because there might be a potential for him with the money that he's going to want to have, or the interest that he's going to garner. They may look to shop him. But that's another topic for another time. I'm going to get into that as I see fit. Let's just be real. We need an edge rusher. We need a run-stopping edge rusher, because in the 3-4, like I laid it out to you guys 2 shows prior, you need guys that can cover as well as come out and be a run stopper. You need balanced guys. You need a balanced breakfast. Like if you want to sit down and eat breakfast right now, you go, especially if you're going to Waffle House, you're going to get that All-Star special, because it's a balanced breakfast. It's eggs, it's waffles. You can get a little bit of grits or a piece of toast. You can get everything that you need. And this is what we're talking about with getting everything that you need from these players. Khalil Mack on the open market is going to garner around $23.6 million is the expected value for Khalil Mack. At 33 years old, an edge rusher that just had double-digit sacks back-to-back consistently for the last couple of years. Do you believe that, one, Khalil Mack is worth the money? 2, do you believe that he can be impactful for your team? And not only Khalil Mack we speaking of, because there's a bevy of veterans that are now becoming available. Like I said, the situation looks for the Panthers need a receiver. Can we look to bring in Kupp and potentially pair him with an Adam Thielen and see what that would look like? Because all we've been hearing is T. Higgins. Well, Kupp can give you similar production of what you're getting from a T. Higgins, and he can do it potentially cheaper. Way cheaper, because T. Higgins is going to be $25 million. B. Amos said he got 2 good years left in the tank. I'm going to be real with you. Like I said, having a Khalil Mack would give you a guy, and this is why I say this, because I understand that Miles Garrett is going to come at a price. So with everybody saying, okay, let's look to try to bring in Miles Garrett, they're going to want at least 2 first-round picks for Miles Garrett. So unless you're willing to give up the farm or give the bank up for Miles Garrett, you don't make that move. Now, me, personally, I give up the whole goddamn farm for Miles Garrett. Because, now y'all bear with me. Imagine having a defense that has Derek Brown. Oh my God. Jadeveon Clowney, as well as having, well, I'm gonna put it like this. Imagine having Miles Garrett on the front line, Derek Brown, and you keep your number 8th overall pick and you get a Mason Graham. You put the three of those guys on the front. The three of those guys, Mason Graham, Derek Brown, and Miles Garrett in your 3-4, the three ends that you would put in the front. Three exceptional ends. You take your time and you lay that out. And then you say, okay, linebackers. You got Jadeveon Clowney. You got Young Bull. I'm start calling him Young Bull from now on. You got Young Bull that we drafted last year in the 3rd round. Even the mediocre Josie Jewell. With those three exceptional guys on the front of that defense, having a reigning defensive player of the year, Miles Garrett, would create such a mismatch, and his impact on defense would immediately put us into elite status as a defense. And check this out. You still got a whole draft where you can go and get think about it. You can go get Mason Graham if you want to, or you could go and get Will Johnson at the top of that draft and plug and play, because Miles Garrett is so essential. He is, like I said, a balanced breakfast, bacon, eggs, toast, you name it, whatever the fuck you want. Miles Garrett is that. My man said he don't want no part of Cooper Kupp. Don't worry, we're going to get into Cooper Kupp in a minute. We got 3 veterans we're going to talk about today: Khalil Mack, Miles Garrett, and Cooper Kupp, and what they mean and the impact would be for the Carolina Panthers. So I'm just putting this out there. Hypothetically speaking, all of this is all hypotheticals for everybody who watching and listening. Like I say, imagine a front line with Miles Garrett, Derek Brown, and for now we'll put Jadeveon Clowney or either Wanham, because like I said, we got some pieces that you can pair. You got Wanham, you got Clowney, you got Slowfoot Josie Jewell, and then you got what's the potential of bringing Shaq Thompson back at middle linebacker? He's had 2 years where he's been injured. I'm thinking that we might be over him. We may be over Shaq Thompson. But you look to potentially either draft a middle linebacker, which I laid it out. I told you, give me a Lander Barton in the middle of this defense. I'm good. I'm good. You go in the 3rd round, 4th round, get your Lander Barton. I'm good. And pair that with what you see for Miles Garrett. This defense will then become elite. You can draft a safety and you can draft a corner, and your entire team will be accounted for in one off season. Now, just like my man JP said, if you're gonna swing big. Miles Garrett is worth the fucking money. Now I'm gonna put this out here and tell me how y'all feel about this right now. The Browns are gonna want to entertain at least 2 first-round picks. So say the Browns are in the business of looking for a quarterback. And I know some of y'all are thinking, as soon as I said the word quarterback, oh shit, where he going with this? If the Carolina Panthers had a GM that was truly about winning, the minute he heard Miles Garrett was available, it would have been something to say, well, let me get on the phone and see what it would take to get Miles Garrett. And what if the Browns hypothetically, now this is hypothetically speaking, said, we want Bryce Young? Would you guys be willing to ship Bryce Young on over? Just asking for the chat. Hypothetically speaking right now, because I know there'll be some guys that'll get upset when they hear that. But I'm hypothetically speaking. How would you feel? Because you could look at Bryce Young as a first-round pick. She say, pack his ass up. Look, if you could look at Bryce Young as a first-round pick, package that, and say, hey, anybody on this roster is available, Who else would y'all want? Well, we want Bryce Young, or we want the young receiver y'all just traded up in the first round to get. Give us Bryce Young and Xavier Leggett. Okay, now we got two starting points right there. Bryce Young and Xavier Leggett, 2 first-round picks. And then guess what I would do to put icing on the cake for Miles Garrett? I would send them next year's first-round pick. Because I understand what Miles Garrett would do for this defense. I understand what his impact would be. He would instantly be the best player in the NFC. And not in the NFC South, in the fucking NFC. He would be immediately the best player in the entire NFC. There won't be another goddamn player better than him. So, with me saying, okay, I would send a first round, they want 2 first-round picks. So I would send them, okay, y'all need a quarterback, Cleveland Browns. I give you, how would you feel about Bryce Young? Okay, you want a target for him? Xavier Leggett, he hasn't had the best start over here in Carolina. I would ship both of them. And I would send next year's first-round pick. And therefore, you bring in Miles Garrett, who's making $19 million a year, which is a hell of a discount when you consider what you basically shipped out the door. Then you say, okay, well, Miles Garrett, we're going to extend you. We're going to get right now. Does anybody in this chat believe that Miles Garrett is worth 35 mil? Because he won't boast of money. Defensive player of the year, first team all pro every single goddamn year. 15 to 20 sacks is what this man potentially gets every goddamn year. 15 to 20 sacks. That means instantly in 17 games, he is so impactful, he damn near gets you a sack every game. He damn near do. Howard said, yes, he is. You goddamn right, Howard. I would send every bit of the goddamn, I would send them boys so fast over there, you think it'd be FedEx. I'd ship them boys with the quickness. So just hypothetically speaking, if I had to make that move right there work, I'm just hypothetically speaking, King Lion. Don't get in your feelings. I said hypothetically, because let me tell you something. If I was to ship young fella off, him and Xavier Leggett, the contingency plan is who right now I could bring in to give me what I'm missing with young fella. In this draft right here, because what a super elite defense, and that's having Derek Brown, Miles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney. That's having Wanham here for a full season now. You got edge rushers galore. You got run stoppers galore. You hit the draft, you get a safety, you get a corner, and you can look around. You can say, well, hey, I could devote a pick into getting a quarterback if I want to. You know what I'm saying? I can devote a pick. There's a Brady Cook that's sitting there. There's a Will Howard from Ohio State sitting right there. If I was to hypothetically make that type of a move, do you think the Panthers would get better instantly with a super elite defense? And then you got potentially a Will Howard with an offensive line that we just had. Chuba Hubbard running 1,000+ yards. You got Jatavion Sanders at tight end. Adam Thielen. You got weapons for a young guy that can come in and take this team and move with it. You didn't have a super elite defense last year, but bringing in Miles Garrett would ascend you to greater heights. Imagine that. You then go from a 5-win team to potentially an immediate playoff team immediately. And that's with a third round type of quarterback coming in here. Will Howard, you might laugh at the fact of Will Howard, but Will Howard just won a national title with Ohio State. He's a competent quarterback. Is he better than what you got right now in Bryce Young? Potentially. Potentially. I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, you should not be married to the player. You should be married to the idea of winning. You should be married to the front of the jersey, not the back of the jersey. Will Howard isn't the only quarterback, so don't get so caught up in the name. You got a bevy of guys that you can call their name and say, okay, give me something from the spot, from sitting there. You can get something from the quarterback room. Like JP just said, Kyle McCord, Syracuse, Will Howard. Who else is sitting there? That boy from Texas, if he decided to come out, but I think he going to Oregon. That would be my number one, Quinn Ewers. If you're making a hypothetical, we just speaking hypothetically right now. That's why I said no need for nobody to get in their feelings. I know how much y'all love Bryce Young. I'm just saying, if I was to make the Panthers great, that's the way I would go about doing it immediately. Just putting that out there. Are you guys about winning games, or are you guys about sitting back and losing consistently week in week after week after week? I'm about winning games. Bringing in a Miles Garrett with that trade proposal I just put out there just now could win you a bevy of games. Howard said we need cornerbacks and safeties too. You goddamn Skippy. That's what I said. But think about it. If you make that type of move and all you got to do is give up in a nutshell a future first round pick, and you shipping off your current QB and your current first round wide receiver, I mean, goddamn. Addition by subtraction. Addition by subtraction, dog. Cleveland will get the QB that they're looking for, and they get a receiver, and they get a future first round. That's why you got to take your time and build this thing this year. If I'm Dan Morgan, I would seriously consider looking at bringing in a Miles Garrett. But that's the situation for Miles Garrett. Okay, let's talk Khalil Mack, which is a completely different situation where you would potentially have to go out and pay $23 million to try to get this young man in the door. Getting a Khalil Mack, paying him with a Wanham and a Jadeveon Clowney, and Khalil Mack, like I said, a great player. Don't get me wrong. If we can't muster up anything to find Miles Garrett, then maybe that is the splash that you might need to do, because you're going to have to upgrade the front seven. My man say the best. Look at here. Shout out to Howard. Then JP say the best thing you can do for your secondary is beef up that front seven. He said Matt kind of long in the tooth right now. At 33, I got no other prospects. I'm coming off a season where DJ Wanham was injured all season. Jadeveon Clowney had 3 sacks. If I can do anything, Derek Brown was injured the whole year. If I can revitalize anything, I will revitalize this defense. Build a front seven that's dominant. Josie Jewell, to me, he needs to have linebackers he needs to have D tackles that are so good, because he has such a terrible first step and he has terrible awareness at this point as a linebacker. He needs to have 3 linemen in front of him that are incredible enough to allow him to roam untouched. And that's hard to do, because you want to keep D tackles off of your linebackers. In order to see an impact from a Josie Jewell type of guy, you're going to have to get better D tackles. You're going to have to get better ends on that front of the 3-4. Your front three got to be exceptional. That's what the man said in the video the other day. In order to have a good 3-4, you need 3 linemen that can stop the run as well as push the interior. 3. And if you don't have that, you better have some incredible linebackers, is what the man said. Well, we don't have any of that shit. So I'm putting it out there once again. The criteria for what you're looking for when you're bringing in Khalil Mack in the door. You're gonna have to pay that $23 million, but you get a guy that can come out here and be a defensive playmaker for you. Now, how do y'all guys feel? Garrett or Khalil Mack? Garrett or Khalil Mack? Which one to you guys screams what the Carolina Panthers should be committing to? Because they need to try to commit to bringing in one of those guys. Defensively, if you can afford to do it, and I think the easier route is trying to get a Miles Garrett. Because like I said, I got players, like I said, with a little teeny bit of value that I could somewhat dangle in front of the Browns and say, hey, what you think about this? Let's start having a conversation. He said, I'm just concerned about Mac's age. Yeah, he's 33. Miles Garrett is 25. Like I said, it's not like we didn't just get rid of a 25-year-old edge rusher. Just saying. It's been done over here. He said, Garrett over Mack, younger and better. I'm going to put the link in the chat, man, in case anybody want to come up. I also want to talk about Cooper Kupp. Because, make no mistake about it, the Carolina Panthers is in a position where they need playmakers. Not only defensive playmakers. I just laid out to you 2 guys and why I think these 2 guys should be brought in here because of their impacts. Like I said, you can get a Khalil Mack. He's going to give you double-digit sacks. Anyway, no, for 12-plus sacks, he's going to give you that. You go get Miles Garrett, he's going to give you 15 sacks a year. They like that. But you also need a guy that can come in for the low and kind of help your offense get up off the ground. And when I say that, a 31-year-old Cooper Kupp, is that really a bad idea to trade for a guy like Cooper Kupp? Well, first of all, what would you look to give for a guy like Cooper Kupp? Triple Crown winner, former Triple Crown winner, Cooper Kupp. I mean, the guy is reliable when on the field because, like I said, the last 2 years he's been injured. But beyond the last 2 years, he has been a reliable guy, a reliable target. If you want to break bread on a receiver, I'd much rather spend money on Cooper Kupp than a T. Higgins. In the words of these boys who be crying over him, T. Higgins. They love him. Everything out of their mouth. T. Higgins. T. Higgins could kill penicillin. T. Higgins is the answer to everything. You can't guard or defend on defense. T. Higgins. You can't seem to coach a game. T. Higgins. Everything out of their mouth. T. Higgins. He said, I don't know if Kupp can stay on the field now. Last 3 years, he hasn't. That's what I say. Barring injury, Cooper Kupp, because think about it. You had Adam Thielen. Because he missed a handful of games, Adam Thielen missed about 4 or 5 games. Adam Thielen would have probably been your 1,000-yard receiver again. Excuse me. But he missed a couple of games and he was out with injury, in and out the rotation. And so he didn't really get a chance to be as productive as he was the year before, where he placed 1,000 yards on the map for Carolina. I like Adam Thielen. A lot of people be going to war over Adam Thielen because they feel like at the tender age of 33, which he'll be 34 this year, um, that he has lost a step and he shouldn't be your starting wide receiver one. Well, we tried this already. We literally has been in the draft the last 2 years trying to get a receiver, and we just can't seem to do it to save our life. Can't save our life getting one. So, unfortunately, we are in a phase right now where you can bet your sweet ass them boys are going to make a move this off season, whether it's a Cooper Cup or whether it's a T. Higgins, because they like him. They like him so goddamn much. Shout out to JP, man. JP, you know how fucking sick and tired of T. Higgins I am? I want to build this thing into a contender. And I don't mind grabbing a Cooper Cup for like a year or two. I don't mind. T. Higgins is going to want big money, and he going to want a long-term deal being here. T. Higgins going to want a 3 or 4 year deal at about $25 million per year. I could get a Cooper Cup for about 11, maybe 12. Maybe 11 or 12 to come here, be productive, give you 700, 800 yards. And like I said, I don't lose a step. Matter of fact, and I had this conversation with some of the fellas. They think that bringing in an Adam Thielen or a Cooper Cup is going to take away from the young bulls that's on the team already. Yeah. Shout out to KJ the Great, man. What's going on with you, cuz? He said, you and me both, Q, everywhere you turn. T. Higgins. And I'm going to keep saying his name like that until it registers, because these boys, they're ready to sell ass and pull their panties to the side for T. Higgins, man. I don't know what they see in that boy. He barely scratched a yard of 800 yards this year with Joe Burrow, because Jamar Chase was nothing short of incredible. 1,600 fucking yards from that nigga. Yeah, just saying. Shout out to Thomas Devers. You goddamn right. The early bird gets the worm around here, man. There ain't no reason why you shouldn't be out and about right now, waking up, pumping iron, clanging and banging. That's what we're doing over here. We're clanging and banging. Getting to the grind this morning. Like I said, if I had my way, I'm picking up and I'm calling the Browns GM right now, and I'm trying to make Miles Garrett work right now. And literally, I would give Miles Garrett the key to the city of Charlotte. If I was David Tepper, I would send my private jet to go pick that motherfucker up from Cleveland. And I'd give him my loft, my penthouse loft in the city of Charlotte. I'd make sure I do everything that I could to sell Charlotte to Miles Garrett. You got to. Because he's like that. He's worth it. He would be the franchise. He would be the face of our franchise immediately if he was to come here. Like I said, it ain't going to cost you much. Right now, like I said, it would be 2 first-round picks. I would send them, because I know Cleveland need a quarterback. To anybody who just getting in here, I would send them Bryce Young. Hypothetically speaking now, don't get upset. I send them Bryce Young, and I would send Xavier Legette. I'd package them two boys together, and I'd put a future first-round pick with that next year's first-round pick, and I would live and die with what the Browns would say and do with that. Because to me, I think that's great value. You got Bryce Young, who coming off of, like I said, a strong 4-5 game streak where he was consistent a little bit. Yeah, he wasn't the best, but like I said, everybody thinks that it's the organization issue over here why he ain't looking good. So they don't know he ain't shit. I'm just saying. To each his own. I'm gonna let y'all have that one. Because I don't want to get into the BY9 shit this morning. This is a good early morning. This is early morning topic. What should the Carolina Panthers do to potentially get better? Like I said, you got Khalil Mack that'll be dangling by. Miles Garrett to me is the option. If you're gonna swing, like they said earlier in the chat, swing and go big. Make sure you get the guy that's gonna be the guy, the bona fide guy. Like, I'm to the point now where if you sit and look at the landscape of the NFC South, if you were to make a move, and like I said, hell, just bring a Khalil Mack in here. Having Garrett over here would be a great move, but putting Khalil Mack over here as well would help levitate you. Oh, it would definitely help you out when it comes to landscape. You would be building a contender, and all you would have to do is offensively be able to put up points on the board. Well, guess what? Carolina Panthers is looking at a kicker because they realize, hey, the situation is they got to have points consistently going up on the board. They need to be looking at that QB spot, and they need to be also looking at offensively what can they do to get better, whether that's bringing in another tight end or what, or another receiver, whatever they see fit. I'm under the impression, and like I said, in an effort to win and truly win, you want to make sure that you lay out the foundation to what could be a great aspiring team. Because like I said, I don't mind selling the farm to get who I need to get. What he say? He said, who says T. Higgins is the number one? Because he ain't now on the Bengals. Oh, that's a fact, bro. That's a fact. T. Higgins is a bona fide number 2 receiver, but the Panther fans think that he is such a number 1. They're willing to sell ass, pull their panties to the side. Every time you hear him crying, T. Higgins, I want T. Higgins. They'll go away from it, and then they'll bring it right back up. T. Higgins openly came out and said he don't want to leave Cincinnati because he don't want to play with a quarterback other than Joe Burrow. He openly said that. I guess he thought he could squash how some of these crazy fuckers feel, but nah, man. Some of these boys got their mind made up on his ass. And that's the thing, man. T. Higgins is not going to be a life changer or a world changer here. But what you could do is take time to build his offense out correctly. Because like I said, I wouldn't mind going back in the draft, 3rd round, looking for like a quarterback to try to help the situation out. Or I could run this bitch back with Andy Dalton. I'm just saying. Don't tempt me with a good time. Because if you get a true super elite defense and have it built correctly, and you got this offensive line with this run game, brother, you got something that you can work with. Miles Garrett coming to this team right here would instantly make us a super elite team. And like I said, you got draft pieces and compensation where you can take your time and still build a team out and fill the roster. Get a safety, get a corner, you can get a linebacker, you can get whatever the fuck it is you feel like you need. What's up, Daz? What's going on with you? That's the thing. You can get whatever you need. There's no need for people to be disgruntled, upset, because let me tell you something. If you still want to hold on to Bryce Young, knowing that your team can get better, knowing that you can win more than 5 games if you were to do that, I'm side-eyeing you at this point because it's all about wins for the Carolina Panthers, and it's all about putting the best foot forward to win. I could give a fuck about how we win. I could give a fuck about who's winning. I just want to win. And as currently constructed, we cannot win a bunch of games. We can't. So you got to start doing what's necessary to try to change the culture over here to try to be able to win. Because there's no way you can look at Washington and Chicago and a lot of these other teams that got young guys that just coming in here and they ahead of us. Where they do that at? How did they get ahead of us? And we had the head start of all head starts. We've been rebuilding for what, 2, maybe 3 years? Or hell, you could say all 7 years we've been rebuilding. I mean, technically, I'm just saying. All I'm saying, if y'all just get in the chat, make sure y'all like the video, comment, subscribe. Like I said, we're about making this team great again. We're about making the environment great again. There's no way that the Carolina Panthers should be in a fucking rebuild 7 years later and still can't get the shit right. It's giving Detroit. It's giving Detroit Lions before the winning, before Dan Campbell. It's giving Detroit. And this is the thing, man. In today's NFL, you got to be able to compete by putting points up on that board. There's only one way to do it, though. Fuck the bullshit. A man say, yeah, we rebuilt it for 7 years, though. Gotta make something shake. Yes. I want Miles Garrett. I want to be able to hold my head up and say, hey, we have a super elite defense. That would be a great feeling. Instead, I just take my time and I don't know, man. The struggle has been real for us as Panther fans. Because you can see where you can try and fix this team, but it's like they hold on to so many small benefactors to the fact that it's crazy whenever they do. Like, I'm going to just put it in full perspective. If you're really trying to build this team, what could T. Higgins do that Kupp can't do right now? Somebody, please, in the chat, tell me. If you were being honest, and you saying you need a receiver right now, one is a $25 million option and the other one is a $12 million option, and you saying, well, he's been hurt last 2 years, but even being hurt, he's still a guy that could come out here and give you some type of production. You mean to tell me you guys aren't cool with production? Because Kupp was pretty productive this season, even though he was hurt. So I'm just, help me make sense of this. I'm just trying to figure it out. The man said, Coop is interesting, but he's getting old. You know what else is getting old, Thomas Jeffries? Losing. Motherfucker losing. That shit is getting real old to me. If nothing else, get my blood boiling. It's me looking up and see we got a fucking loss in that goddamn losing column. Now, whether these niggas is young, old, indifferent, child, I don't give a fuck at this point. I want a motherfucking win. I'm tired of losing. I can't take losing another motherfucking season. I can't do it. Everybody else, that's a fucking shame. I'm getting shit together for a fucking Super Bowl party, and it ain't even my goddamn team in the fucking Super Bowl. Ain't that something? Every year we get shit together for a Super Bowl, and guess what? It ain't got nothing to do with the Panthers. You ain't got to worry about the Panthers being in it. I'm getting tired of that shit. It's a damn shame what we're going through. I'm getting to the point, man. it's starting to become hard to watch at this point. Like watching the downfall of the Panthers and the inability to bring in talent. Because a lot of people saying they'll give Dan Morgan one more shot, one more swing at it, and I don't think he deserves that much. Because like I said, there's some moves to be made right now. If you really want to change this shit, you could make a fucking move right now, Dan Morgan. Like I say, if you want to get Miles Garrett in the door, the way to do it right now, give Bryce Young up, send Xavier to get with his ass, package a first round for next year, and you got a super elite defense in here with Miles Garrett. Defensive player of the year, all pro. You would have a motherfucker that you could look and say, give me 15 sacks a year. Consistently, 15 to 20 sacks every year. In that range. My man said Warner was productive and got injured. Pop, what you talking about, Pop? Warner had what? 4 games where he show up for us? Barely 5? Uh, Pop, you do realize Miles Garrett, hell, Khalil Mack is a different animal than DJ Warner. They on 2 different levels. The playing field is 2 different types of special. This shit is special, dog. Shout out to Pending Packs. Pending Pack say, I appreciate the early session. He said Cooper Kupp could actually handle a double-digit target share. Man, look at here. Let me tell you something. These boys acting like Cooper Kupp a fucking cripple out in these streets or something at 31 years old. Excuse the fuck out of me. Last time I checked, the nigga ain't no goddamn cripple. They act like the boy ain't good enough to do shit. Man, don't let that injury, the last 2 years of injuries fool you. Because like I said, anybody could come out, had the injuries, missed the games that he missed, and still put up close to 800 yards in the air, is still a dynamic receiver. When you look at the amount of time that he has missed, he missed a lot of time. I'll take him every day. Every day that ends with a Y. Because to me, I want to make my young quarterback comfortable. If he's going to be here, I want to make him comfortable. I want to make sure that he has weapons. Adam Thielen is a savvy veteran. You bring in another savvy veteran that can come in here, run routes, and always stay open across that middle. That's what it's about. Having guys that has the ability to get open across the middle, because in a West Coast, it's short, intermediate passes and quick outs. That's what this shit is about. Short, intermediate passes, quick outs, and the ability to get that ball out of your hands. You saw the most improvement from Bryce Young this season when Canales worked with him to get that ball out of his hands. What better way than to uplift this young fella than to bring in another guy that thrives in the slot, going across the middle, doing what, that's what West Coast offenses are predicated on. A lot of outs and a lot of, like I said, misdirection, different stuff like that. You see a lot of that in this scheme. If I'm Dan Morgan, I got probably one of the hottest seats in all of football because I got a team I got to build. Niggas don't want these guys because of their names, but fuck that. I want to motherfucking win. Even if I rent a nigga for a year, I don't give a fuck what I got to do to build this team up. If you want to, now think about it. We've been drafting it at the wide receiver position the last 3-4 years and can't get the shit right. From Terrence Marshall Jr. to Jonathan Mango to Xavier Legette. I mean, goddamn, how many times are you going to go in this one position and keep trying to get it in the draft? It's not there. You can't pick receivers to save your life. So therefore, at this point, at this moment, put all your energy in getting a savvy veteran who has a already well-known name that you don't have to sit here and wonder about. Because let me tell you something. You let Cooper Kupp come to this motherfucking team and Cooper Kupp numbers go down. Then it'll be clear cut that it ain't this motherfucker. It's the goddamn quarterback. It'll be clear cut. Then nobody can say shit. But as it stands right here, when you keep getting these rookies, they keep blaming it on the fucking rookie. The rookie ain't shit. The rookie ain't this. The rookie ain't that. You go get a made nigga like a Cooper Kupp, put $11, $12 million into that motherfucker, and then you put him on that field, you will see exactly what the fuck you got. And there ain't no more damn excuses. But they're scared. I think the GM is actually scared to do that shit because he know what in reality what the fuck we looking at. They know what the fuck we doing with this team, and they know that this team right here is only as good as this quarterback gets. And they're scared to death to highlight that boy. They're scared to death to step out from under the BY9 umbrella. Because that's where they at. I want to win long term. And long term for me is 10, 11, 12 games. You know what I'm saying? That's where I want to be at as a franchise. That's where I want to be at as a fan, a consumer of this product. When I go and buy this product, I invest wholeheartedly into this team. And I want this team to be successful. And what better way to do it? Bringing in guys that you could trust and rely to get the job done. A man who a man is just getting numbers. I'm in here. So you know you're not getting numbers. You can't blame that on. That ain't on Cooper Kupp, though. It's not him. I'm sorry, JP. It's not him. So I just wanted to tap in with y'all this morning, man. See how y'all was feeling out here. You know, because like I said, I feel the need to want to rebuild this team, and I want to do it the right way. And like I said, I had arguments with a couple of niggas about, you know, Adam Thielen and Cooper Kupp and potentially paying them boys together and seeing what they would look like. And they were against it because they feel like 33, 34 is too old to even invest in a receiver. And I'm saying, with the way this team is, with the way how this team is constructed, with the lack of production from the rookie receivers, the 1-2 year guys that we had, you kind of need a veteran to come in here. That's a sure-handed thing. And I don't want to see T. Higgins in this motherfucker. Because them boys is really going to be literally watching the game, jacking their dick off to T. Higgins. They love that nigga for some fucking reason. I don't know what it is about T. Higgins. They'll go away from him for like a week or two. Then next thing you know, you see another thing. T. Higgins. Everything out their motherfucking mouth. Why don't you go to Cincinnati and get T. Higgins? He's so good. He's a number one. You got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I'm sick of that nigga. Already. And there ain't a motherfucker that'll be able to convince me otherwise. They just ain't. So if you're out to build this team and build it correctly, subscribe to the video. Take your time. Make sure that you understand that I'm not for individual players. I'm for collective team players coming together as one brand, the Carolina Panthers. One unit, one heartbeat. I want to win. And I want to do it in such a fashion, such a way where there's no excuses. You could clearly see that we would be a winning product. And like I said, I don't want to exhaust the fan base because our fan base is very irritated when it comes to potentially looking at QBs, receivers. They get irritated very quickly. They got short tempers, short terms about some of them guys, man. They get in their feelings very fast. So, man, he said, "What are you giving for Kupp?" Uh, it's a great question, Pop. If I had to trade for Cooper Kupp from the LA Rams, I would probably I could probably get Cooper Kupp over here for like a fifth round, maybe a fourth round pick. I could probably get him for a fourth or a fifth round pick, man. Because D Hop went for something similar to Kansas City. So I would look to say, okay, we got an extra fifth round pick. I would start the talking right there. Okay, what is Cooper Kupp value and how much do I potentially have to give up for him? And I would start with that. And if they say, okay, well, we want a little bit higher, the highest I'm willing to go for a Cooper Kupp is probably a third round. I'm not going past the third round for Cooper Kupp. I'm just not, because he's not worth to me anything over a third round pick. I think I can make it bounce for a fifth. I would get them boys a fifth and a seventh, or a fifth and a sixth next year. I don't break the bank for Cooper Kupp at all. Because granted, he's a complementary piece to whatever I want to do. He's not a focal piece to whatever it is I want to do. You get what I'm saying? My man said, shout out to JP for this super chat. He said, rep the team name, not the player. T. Higgins. Let me tell you something, man. And I'm going to go on a minor T. Higgins rant. T. Higgins didn't even eclipse 1,000 yards this season. Jamar Chase went crazy, stupid bananas for 1,600 plus. Now, if you that guy, you got that dog in you, and you able to come out here and be a playmaker for a young QB, you bring hell, heaven, and earth together to make that shit happen. If you feel like T. Higgins is that nigga. But to me, T. Higgins is how do you say it? Let me be real. T. Higgins is a complimentary piece. You need another number one for him to be successful. And T. Higgins is not the guy whenever it is time to focalize on him or game plan for him. He shrinks. He's not that guy. I wouldn't waste an ounce of money on T. Higgins if I had to pay him. I wouldn't waste no money on him. Because to me, as a consumer of this product, this great product that we love that we call the Carolina Panthers, T. Higgins to me is an afterthought. He's an afterthought to me. I would never, like I said, invest in him long term because one, y'all talk about Cooper Kupp with injuries. Shit, T. Higgins deal with injuries every year. He's never played a full season. Never. He's never played an entire full season. 17, 16 games. Well, we had 16 back in the day. 17 games. He's never done that shit, man. At least you can say what Cooper Kupp has played a full fucking season here and there. That nigga T Higgins don't ever finish a motherfucking season. But I don't understand the love fest that he gets. They treat him like a god. T Higgins. I don't know, man. Once again, shout out to each and every one of you guys that are here. Like, comment, subscribe. We are going to be definitely probably coming back to you guys later on this afternoon. I just felt like I want to do an early morning talk my shit type of session. Because like I said, with Khalil Mack becoming available, you can't overlook him. With Miles Garrett saying, hey, I want out of Cleveland, like I said, you damn sure can't look at what he would bring to a table. He'd probably break the fucking table. He's that good. To me, Miles Sanders, once again, not Miles Sanders, Miles Garrett. Shit. How dare I get them two in the same sentence? Miles Garrett would be instantaneously the best player in the NFC if he was to come over here. It don't get much better than that. Yeah, wouldn't get much better than that right there, man. Got that Miles Garrett out here slinging motherfuckers around. I love every second of it. You wouldn't hear me talk an ounce of shit, a itty bitty piece of shit about this defense at all either. A man said I'm gonna be laughing at T Higgins shit all day. Oh, you should hear these complaining ass niggas walking around with that. They got t-shirts with the nigga face on it. They love them. What you like about them? I like them. They like that motherfucker. I'm just keeping it real, man. T Higgins ain't gonna save no worlds over here, man. And if you're gonna build this thing correct, go ahead and take your time. If you're gonna invest in a guy like I said, Panther fans are not willing to invest in nothing. They don't want to invest in our own players, and they don't want to invest in free agent guys to come in here or trade for anybody because they don't ever want to give up anything. Sooner or later, you in limbo. You're going to have to use a player as a bridge to get over to what you need. Cooper Kupp could be a good bridge for us. Like Khalil Mack could be a good bridge for us till we're able to draft a young edge rusher that could come in here. Because DJ Wanham ain't the long-term answer. Hell, he up out of here after next year. Clowney up out of here after next year. You're in a position where you're going to need to figure shit out. At least I can figure it out with a nigga that's going to give me close to 15 fucking sacks. That's all I'm saying, cuz. Shout out to Howard, man. He said, thanks for the coffee this morning. You goddamn Skippy. My man said glazing Miles hard this morning. Nigga, he's a fucking defensive player of the year. What? That nigga should be glazed. He should be put on a shrine. I should build a shrine in my fucking house to Miles Garrett. He's that good of a goddamn player. When you get north of 15 sacks a fucking year, or the potential to get 15 plus, you should. Something wrong with you that you ain't looking at this nigga in a good light. Something wrong with you, nigga. Miles Garrett is like that. That boy like that. But once again, you'd have to pay him, so these niggas get all bent out of shape when you mention having to pay a nigga. You see? The nigga say, glazing Miles hard this morning. I ain't never seen no shit like this. You ain't got no edge rushers, and you damn sure can't stop the run. And the nigga say, you glazing. You motherfucking right, I'm glazing this nigga. It need to be a hot now, ready now, donut sign on in this motherfucker in Carolina. You need to have this nigga coming through the door like yesterday. You got no pass rush. I don't understand the fucking fan base around here. What type of shit is y'all on? The nigga don't want you to glorify an edge rusher that's around here getting motherfucking sacks. What the fuck are we talking about? What the fuck is going on around here? I'll be damned. I'll be damned. I ain't never seen nothing to it. I ain't never seen nothing like it, dog. This nigga act like Miles Sanders is not a good player. He's only the fucking reigning defensive player of the year. I ain't never seen nothing like it. I guess it's fuck him too, huh? Cause you want T. Higgins. That's what you want. T. Higgins. They'll glaze the fuck out of a motherfucking number 2 receiver, ain't T. Higgins, but you don't want a nigga that can get you 15 fucking sacks. I have heard it all. Nigga didn't even crack 1,000 yards, and y'all put y'all 2 little nipples together for him. T. Higgins. My God. I ain't never seen nothing like this right here. Y'all boy got my chest hurting this morning around here. Motherfucker love T. Higgins more than they love a fucking Miles Garrett. I ain't never seen nothing like it. You can't stop the run. You historically had 3,000 yards put up on your black ass this year, and this nigga got the nerve to say we glazing Miles Garrett. Nigga, you need more than Miles Garrett. Having that nigga in here would change life, but you need more. That's the reason why we ain't winning right there. That shit right there. That's the motherfucking reason why we losing. Because niggas don't want to invest in getting better. They okay with just sitting there mediocre. You can't tell me one nigga that you would take over Miles Garrett, but you sitting here talking about this nigga. Once again, I say he would be the best motherfucker in the NFC. He's already a top 10 player in the motherfucking league. What the fuck? Am I going crazy this morning? They treat the nigga like he ain't shit. My man said, give me Miles over T. Higgins. Boy, oh boy. They love that nigga T. Higgins, boy. I ain't never seen nothing like it. I ain't never seen shit like this. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about that. I pull up in the yard and the Wi-Fi picked up. Now, like I was saying, my man said, give him Miles over there. He said, I bought that processed blue jersey right now. Shit, let me tell you something detail. If you was able to get Miles Garrett in the building, I'm buying jersey. Nigga, I would buy y'all. I'd buy every one of y'all niggas in the chat a Miles Garrett jersey. Just because, and I'd be shipping that bitch out like it's fucking Santa Claus over here. So yes, excuse the fuck out of me for glazing that man. My man says, say T. Higgins' name in the mirror 3 times, Q, I dare you. T. Higgins! T. Higgins! T. Higgins! Boy, y'all boy funny, man. Once again, man, shout out to everybody in the chat. If you haven't liked the video already, what are you doing with your life today? Make sure you show us that love. I'm gonna start doing these because I like this ride home type of atmosphere. So I might start trying to do a little ride home check in with y'all boys every morning, man. I think that would be cool. To just get in a quick little 45 minutes to an hour where we can just sit, chat, talk about what's on your mind, and just get to it as we do. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but like I said, man, it's an early morning, and I just wanted to tell you guys, y'all have yourselves a good morning this morning. So, peace out, everybody.